See, I'm interviewing Dana King, who's running for Oakland City Council District 2. You might remember her from KPIX. Hey, Dana.
How you doing?
Look at that.
Wow. You know what? It's my birthday, so this is my present to me.
Happy birthday.
It looks fabulous. So I'm just going to dig in.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That looks good, yeah. So,
wow.
Dana and I are going to talk more about city council issues after I get my food and she gets that mocha. Sounds good. Looks good too. Look at that. Oh, and by the way, of course, we're at Lakeshore Cafe, 3257 Lakeshore. Hey, everybody, say hi. Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah. Okay. We're back with Dana, and
because
her mocha's gone.
Almost gone.
Right. Breakfast isn't here. It's kind of a first. But anyway, what motivated you? First of all, let's start another way. Tell them who you are for those who don't know.
Okay. My name is Dana King, and I'm running for District 2 City Council here in Oakland. Who am I? Well, I'm going to go way back to the beginning because I was born to parents. My mother is white, Jewish. My father, black, Southern Baptist. They were married secretly in the 1950s.
Wow.
Yeah. And
what state?
Well, they went to Mexico to get married because it was against the law.
Whoa.
And so my birth was against the law in the majority of states in this country until I was 7. My brother, his birth was against the law until he was 10. So I have always lived in two worlds. I've had a foot in the white world and the black. Often neither claim me, often both claim me. But I kind of see myself as a bridge. And that has a lot to do with why I want to run.
So what motivated you to run for Oakland City Council District 2? Seat that Pat Kernahan currently holds.
Right. So Pat's retiring.
Oh, and for the record, Joe Tuman didn't talk you into there, right?
No, he didn't. I mean...
Hold on a second. Okay, Joe, are you happy now? Are you happy now? Sorry.
You know, I am my own woman. Okay? Today is my birthday. I'm 54 years old.
Tell them.
I am my own woman. Right?
Right.
So,
you're really 22, but anyways.
Well, you know what they say. It don't crack.
You got it.
Which is a blessing.
Yeah.
I got an email from Pat, and so I live in the Flats. I live in the San Antonio district, and I love where I live. I know all my neighbors. In fact, one of my neighbors is sitting right here. Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
We're talking about the block. We're talking about the block. So I do. I know my neighbors. I love my neighbors. I moved there, and I felt really at home. I felt very lonely. And we had a little issue on the block, talking about our landlord dispute. No, I didn't. I know we had a party on the block, and I didn't get to go.
Oh.
So.
I
was there the day before that. So he's doing great.
You want to pump his gallery?
Yes, well, yeah. But it's brand new. The name of his gallery is Random Parts.
Random Parts. Okay, Random Parts. Random Parts.
He has exquisite, eclectic art that is Oakland. It's Oakland. And it's right across the street from where I live. It's awesome. So we're going to be doing, I'll tell you about it.
Sure.
So I have I'll tell you about it.
So what motivated you to run? What was the aha moment? You got the email from Pat.
Well, there was a build-up. So, some friends, we talk about beautifying the neighborhood, and just in a very simple way. Planting trees, flowers, shrubs, because when you plant greenery, there's so many things that come of it. You reduce asthma. The more trees you plant in the neighborhood, it slows down traffic. There's a lot of research around it, in addition to making it just simply beautiful, right? So we walked the district with Pat. We were talking about sites for a grocery store, and just walking the district in general, talking about the dumping, the illegal dumping, and the tagging, which is way out of hand. And so we on our block we had a landlord issue, and we all got together and we all solved it. And I thought, this is how it needs to work, because I have neighbors who are first generation Americans, I have neighbors who are immigrants, they live in multi-generational households. It's a very diverse neighborhood. It's Chinese, it's Vietnamese, it's Hispanic, it's black, it's white, really all one block. And we all got together and we worked out a big plan. And I thought, then I got an email from Pat at the end of the year saying she was retiring.
I got that same email. Like, yeah.
And in that instance, I thought, why is this being put in my space at this juncture in my life? And I really gave it some thought. I prayed about it. And I decided that I was going to do this. That I wanted to be of service to people like my neighbors who don't have a voice outside. Whether it's by choice, because they're fearful, they don't understand it, from where they come from, it's not something that you ever do is engage politically because it's dangerous to them. I mean, whatever the reason. They don't have the time because they're working 3 jobs, whatever the reason. I want to be that nurse.
But also, and I think it would be dishonest not to talk about this. You came from KPIX, well-known local broadcast journalist, and you said something to me off camera that I think is worth repeating on camera. You said for 25 years you couldn't say exactly what you felt. But you had an opportunity during that time to really see Oakland from that perspective. And is there anything that you saw or have seen that you think you're going to bring to bear, that you are going to bring to bear on being council or even running? You know,
well,
in terms of perceptions and
a platform. But part of what I can do, because it's where I come from, that I think that it's in my wheelhouse, as so to speak, is that I understand the media. And the thing that I have witnessed in the last, I worked here for 15 years, is that every story out of Oakland on TV is bad. And we would sit in pitch meetings, story meetings with the assignment desk, and there'd be a shooting in Oakland, and if we didn't have time for that story because we had other things, we would blow it off like, oh, it's just another shooting in Oakland. But like, this is what is an everyday occurrence, and so big deal.
The DNA is like
exactly. Or if we had a news hole and we needed something, oh, we're going to blow that up. And on the other side of the coin, for every story like that, we all know, living here, that there are 100 stories that are positive that are never told.
Right, absolutely.
And
absolutely
so, for me, I think it's vital that the mayor, the city council members, that we have editorial meetings with the newspapers, and that we have meetings with the general managers of TV stations, and say, listen, we need a truce on this kind of coverage. Cover it, but also cover the good. Okay? For every bad story, give us 2. That's not asking much. That's asking nothing. And you know what? And to that end, if it doesn't start to shift, if there isn't some reciprocity of story, then we hit them where it hurts. We call their advertisers. And we say, you know what? Until there is a change in the dialogue, a change in the coverage towards the reality that we all know exists here, we're not going to pay too much.
Right.
We're not going to buy your product.
Right.
We're not going to come down to your store.
That's a big difference. Really good, yeah.
It makes a huge difference. And we have not only the authority, we have the right to do that. Because we know what happens here. But the rest of the Bay Area doesn't, because the only thing that ever gets covered is negative.
Hold that thought.
Okay, you're hungry.
Hey, where's my omelet? Lake Shore's omelet. Yeah, it's all right.
I think it needs a double size.
Fruit instead of the English muffin. Right. Oh, you know. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm good. Thank you very much.
So.
Wow, you put her on camera, man.
No, I mean, look, I love a Lake Shores cafe. Okay, but this is as it's done. This is.
It's unusual.
Dana is new to vlogging.
I am.
This is vlogging. This is what vlogging is about. But I'm curious, what is your view? And I ask this of all of the people I've talked to. First of all, of the idea that we need more or less police. Where do you stand on that?
We're a big city, and policing doesn't always have to be about catching criminals. Policing is also about just having a presence in the city and having relationships within communities. Right now, all we get to do is the crime thing because we're understaffed, and there are different studies saying how many officers we need, and we only have, as of February 25th, the last I went to the safety meeting. They're a little over 600 and I want to say 17 officers. That's not. I don't know exactly what the numbers are. I have the paperwork here, but that's not big enough. That's not enough for the city. At most we've ever had is 837. We need that minimum, at the very minimum. But, and here's the but. The police that we need to have, and the police that we have, in order for them to feel safe, in order for communities of color to feel safe and to trust the police department, we need to have a different kind of relationship. We need to have, the trust issue is really important to me. I've talked to many people of color who say to me, I am not voting for anybody who wants more police.
Nice to meet you. See ya.
I'm not voting for any more politicians who just want more cops. And I say, then I guess you're not voting. Because we're a city, that's what we need. It's how a city functions. And we are not functioning well with such a reduction in numbers. So I have that big but attached to it that we really need to have a different conversation around the relationship from the hierarchy down.
How do we change that? I mean, just go.
Well, first of all, we need to get out from under the federal yoke of the settlement agreement. Mayor Kwan said in her State of the City speech last night, 10 years ago, we had 50 items, 55 items that we needed to fix. Now we're down to 5 or 6. That was 10 years.
Right.
And it's costing millions and millions of dollars that we could be spending on education, police academies, sensitivity training, issues around equity and equality. We're spending it trying to comply with this thing. Let's get on with it.
Right.
Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah.
How many more years do we have to do this? So that's money that we're burning. Just light a match to it. It's burning. We clearly need money to do what is needed in terms of hiring more quality police officers and just giving the officers an opportunity to be in the community without having to be a hammer all the time. I think that will shift the dynamic right off the bat. And engaging with community organizations and individuals on the streets. And another thing that the city is trying to do is hire more police officers who are from Oakland. we're not doing a very good job at that. For whatever reason. Because if you come here, you understand the dynamic. You have an affinity for the city, you have a love for the city. And it isn't just the statistics of crime per district or neighborhood. It's about the people.
Right.
And I just think it's a shift in the consciousness. I know that sounds really hippy dippy, but a shift in the consciousness.
We're in Oakland.
That from the top down, from the leadership down. But we had 4 chiefs in 4 minutes last night. We need stability, and that will start when we end the settlement.
What's your this is adjunctly related to that. What's your view on the trend toward private security, particularly that incident where a security officer, shot? Right.
We all want to be safe. Every community wants safety. They want to feel safe. They want to take pride in their neighborhood. But there are communities that can't afford private security. So we're going to build our own little army for the wealthy. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And I think that's pathetic. I think it's a sad state where people feel compelled to give their hard-earned money to something that they already paid for in city services that they're not getting. And then there's the disparity, community to community to community, based on wealth. And I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. Safety can be had in many ways, and I think the first and most important way is to know your neighbors.
Right. Oh, and by the way, not to worry, this could pick up you better than anything around it. So.
Okay, no, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
She's locked in. So it's like
I have faith in what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't. I'm just kidding.
No, I think that it starts right at your front door. Who are your neighbors? Get to know your neighbors, because then you look out for one another. Then there's a sense of collective security, just on block to block to block. And I feel very safe in my neighborhood, and I know all my neighbors, and we look out for one another. I had an incident one night, and I started beeping my horn. I had my neighbors, they came out on the street.
Wow.
And it was late. And
Can you share what happened? Or something okay? Or?
That was just a silly little thing.
Okay.
And nobody, wasn't threatening per se. It just was
annoying.
Yeah, it was late at night, and I'm a woman.
Did you feel threatened or something?
Well, I felt threatened enough to lay on my home.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So, you make use of the tools you have available.
Yeah.
And my neighbors came out on the street, and I'm just so grateful for that. And it wasn't like we had sat down and talked about, well, if this happens, we're going to do this. There was no plan of action neighborhood-wise. It just is what we do for one another because we're neighbors. So I think it's important to start by knowing who your people are on the block. And I think that can alleviate an awful lot.
It looks like you know them. I mean, the lady that was here, that wasn't rehearsed, folks. Her friend just happened to be here. So, yeah.
Another thing is lighting.
Yeah.
Lighting is vital. In my neighborhood, I can go block to block to block. And,
did you want to?
No. And on one block, there'll be one street light. That street is tagged beyond recognition. Another block will have 2 street lights. Some will have 3. Why is that? Why is there any differential? Every block should have the same amount of lighting, and that lighting should be strong.
Right.
That's its own deterrent. There's some simple things that we can do without needing weaponry.
Amen to that.
Right? And to me, that's a city function.
This looks great. Look at that. This is fantastic. Thank you. This is what I usually order. Put all that over there. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Thanks. Yeah, folks, that is, yes, more coffee would be fantastic. Folks, this is a Lake Shore's omelet. I always get it. So, yeah. Anyway, you were saying. So.
No, I think that there are many things that we can do as citizens that will provide a feeling of safety. You know, because half of our issue is perception. You know, if you feel unsafe, it doesn't matter what the statistics are. You're not safe. So we can keep our areas around our home clean, well lit. It increases pride in the neighborhood, and it increases a sense of responsibility and connection. And I know, again, it sounds really, you know, hippy-dippy, but those things are proven to be effective. That we have control over right now without having to pay anybody to come into our neighborhood and go.
Do you have a view on programs like Operation Ceasefire that the mayor talked about last night?
Yeah.
Do you have a view on those?
Well, I think they're all great. I mean, they all lend strength